Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action, and I'm back with another metal update. It's mainly CDs, but we've got a few, well, just two records I'm going to show as well, but it is mainly a CD update this time. And in the background we are listening to one of the CDs that I picked up, which is one of those, I had this and then, I don't know, I must have sold it or traded it because I didn't have it anymore. Borknagar, self-titled, completely mandatory album, but when I went to listen to it, I didn't have it. I don't know what happened. Can't explain. What I assume probably happened is I had a lot of Borknagar, and this one, the self-titled, is really the only one I ever liked. People like the Olden Domain, the one that follows this. It didn't do anything for me. I think this just probably became collateral damage in a big trade, and I lost it, which is a shame. But anyway, it's mandatory stuff. This is from like 94 or 5 or something, classic era Norwegian black metal. It says there with the hype sticker still attached, featuring members of Immortal, Enslaved, Olva and Gorgoroth. Obviously the amazing Garm on vocals. It's just an impeccable album. This is the original Merciless Records press, the one without the barcode, and yeah, I'm just thrilled to have it back in the collection. I don't need to say too much about it, but yeah, Borknagar, self-titled, absolutely mandatory. We'll take a quick detour to the LPs. The first one I got is a picture disc, and I cannot stand friggin' picture discs, but there is no other way of getting this. I had this a long time ago, back in my first era of collecting records, and I sold it. I got it back because it is an awesome record, and that is the Nazul Live LP, put out by DCS Productions in about '02, I think, around about then. Double-sided, it's got a nice picture. I'll take it out of the sleeve to show you. So there we go, that's the front. Has the live tracks on it, listing tracks. Starts with Hour of Vengeance, which is probably their best, no, it is their best track, in my opinion, from the Black Seed EP. It's a stellar collection of performances, taken from 2 different concerts, around about 99, 98, 99, I think. I think one of them was from Metal for the Brain, and I'm pretty sure I was at that gig. So I've got to re-sleeve this because it is a picture disc. What a pain. Anyway. Yeah, so I just don't like picture discs. They tend to sound a bit average, and look, this starts with a bit of crackle that I could not wash out because, hey, picture disc, but you know, it is what it is. Doesn't go for a great deal of money. You can find copies on Discogs. I don't think it was maybe well received, or maybe there was many copies, so that definitely worth picking up if you like Nazul. The other LP is fantastic. This is the new one from Gorophilia. Surprised I got it so early. This is In the Eye of Nothing. Officially only came out yesterday, but a store in Melbourne, they got copies in early this week, and I ordered it and I got it yesterday. So I've only had 2 spins so far with this. It is outstanding. This is the best thing Gorophilia has done, in my opinion. I can't complain about this one. So the previous album, the name escapes me at the moment, from 2017, far more blasty, like far more aggressive. This is the best of everything Morbid Angel did from albums D through to G. They've really, I don't want to say slowed it down and make you think they're a doom metal band, because they're not, but they have slowed it down a bit from just the blast fest that was the previous album. The lineup obviously changed. Unfortunately, the singer prior to this album, he did commit suicide, which was very unfortunate. I assume the band broke up. Pretty sure I even read from the band that they were going to call it a day, but here we are. They pretty quietly brought this thing out, and it's amazing. They didn't actually change the lineup. They've just gone from a 5-piece to a 4-piece. The guitarist is now doing the vocals. He sounds good. So you get the sort of lyric sheet, which was good. It's just a black vinyl, nothing to really show. But what I thought was interesting was some of the, well, one of the pieces of paraphernalia you get with it. So you get a photo card from the new MSUO band Septage, who I presume are going to sound like Carcass, but I haven't heard anything yet. But this one for Undergang, I was very impressed with this little promo disembodied hand there. I think that was great. So that's for the new Undergang album, I guess. Yeah, Aldrig, I Live It. So there you go. I thought that was cool. But anyway, back to this one. This is going to be in a lot of album of the year lists, I think. I'm going to spend some more time with it, but man, particularly this track on side B, Consensus, that is just like, it sounds like it comes from Domination. It's that slow, thick, pummeling death metal, lots of double kick. There's very little in the way of like super fast blasting on this one. They've really just thickened up the sound and slowed it down a notch. Awesome stuff, very happy with that. So now we'll flick to the CDs. I got some good ones in. One of the bands, I don't know how this happened either. In my death metal tutelage, one of the bands that I skipped over for a long period of time was Bolt Thrower. I heard something when I was younger and I just thought, oh, this is just slow. This is the AC/DC of death metal. Obviously, I was incredibly wrong. It took me about a decade and then I realised, hang on, not everything has to sound like Necrophagist. Bolt Thrower was awesome. And I think this was one of the other bands that suffered from that for me at the time. Cancer. This is another UK band, and this particular album, the second one, Death Shall Rise, has a lot of Bolt Thrower sound to it. A bit of Benediction as well. It's absolutely amazing. It's fantastic. It's the first Cancer I've bought. I really want to get the debut. There's just a pretty old school booklet, which is cool. Photos in the middle there. Lyrics and stuff. Yeah, just the CD there. Nothing too much to show. The art on the front is really good. So yeah, I dig that. It's really good stuff. Yeah, this is the first Cancer I've got, and yeah, like I said, I want to get the first one as well. But I don't know, if you're for some reason like me, you skipped over them. Really, you've done a stupid thing, because I did a stupid thing. Go back, check this album out. Old Obituary, like it's just that one of those foundational bands. It has that sound, the old early death metal sound. Bolt Thrower, Old Obituary, early Benediction, and Cancer, all in the same boat. So definitely check this one out. Death Shall Rise, awesome stuff. Another. Now I have got newer albums from this band. Broken Hope, with Swamped in Gore. This is the original grindcore press there. I got this for a really good price. I had the second album a long time ago. Was it Repulsion something? I can't remember the name of it. And I think I didn't like it at the time, and I sold it on. We're talking 20 years ago at this point. Don't remember much. I've got their latest album, which I think is excellent. They did like Deeds of Flesh. They went way more technical than they used to be, and put out a stunning album. But this is their first one, and this is a very different beast. They're a completely different band, may as well be. It's thick, it's nasty, it's got that autopsy sound, it's got that just early American death metal sound, early brutal death metal sound. Yeah, what else can I say? I mean, it's Broken Hope. You've probably all heard them as well. I love the artwork on this one. It had a reissue with different artwork that was pretty lame, to be honest. Yeah, just the lyrics in there. Obviously far too small to read. That's why you would have bought the LP at the time. I wouldn't mind the LP of this, but I imagine that would be quite hard to get, so there you go. 11 tracks of old school brutal death metal from Broken Hope, Swamped in Gore. Definitely highly recommended. Here's another one that's highly recommended, and was recommended by my good buddy Ben Brain Smasher. This is Nocturnal, with Nothing But Hatred. So he showed this in his last update. I will leave a link down there in the description. I'm sure you all know the good Ben Brain Smasher. And he's completely right with what he said about this. It is an oddball of an album. He mentioned this on Instagram first, I think. I think that's how he first mentioned it, and I went looking for it, found that a local seller had it, and that's when I decided I should listen to it, because I went from recommendation to, well, I better make sure I can find this thing, to, alright, I can get this thing, let's give it a listen. And I gave it a tiny listen, enough to not be put off, and then I just bought the thing because it was a recommendation. This is some pretty strange, pretty chaotic death thrash from 1994. I love that cover, it's great. Back when you also had the parental advisory stickers, ridiculous. It's an old JL America release, which is another bonus. I know that's why Ben got it, because he collects that label. And inside as well, so you get the lyric sheet. It's got this old sort of business card thing for JL America. This is advertising their Death Metal Sampler Volume 1. All I've got to do is fill this out, and they'll send me one. If I go back 25 years, perhaps. What a shame, but anyway. So this is, yeah, like I said, it's pretty chaotic death thrash. The main guy in the band, I think his name is Tom Stevens, if I'm remembering correctly. I think he's the only one that's still in the band. I think they still exist. They probably got back together after a long period of time. He's played live with bands like Ripping Corpse, and that was, when I was listening to this, I thought, man, this has got some of that fast, early American death metal where it's death thrashy, like Ripping Corpse. And then I find out he's done some live shows with them. So that was a good parallel. It's got some of that crazy death thrash like Hell Witch. I found a lot of that in there. The vocals are sort of screechy, banchy, just shouted out, quite manic. This is just really good. I've listened to it a couple of times now, and yeah, I love it. Excellent recommendation from Ben, and I was really happy to get it, so definitely check this one out. I'm not sure if it's been reissued. Kind of hope it has. Yeah, if you like, it's got a bit of, like, I think there was plenty of elements where I heard Deicide's debut, just when it gets sort of blasty and the vocals go like that. So that my impression then, I was pretty happy with that. But yeah, it sounds a bit like early Deicide, first and only album Deicide. And then, yeah, the crazy death thrash of the other bands that I mentioned. So yeah, Nocturnal, really good stuff. And yeah, the Tom Stevens, I think that was, as I said, I think that was his name. Also played in Morpheus Descends for a little bit, one of their later EPs in '97. I think that also not a bad idea of what this band might sound like to you as well. So yeah, Nocturnal with Nothing But Hatred. Check it out. Completely change your pace here. I finally picked up 2 albums from Seven Spires. This is a US, I think it's US, but it's not Canadian, but I think it's US. Power metal, progressive metal band. I can count the amount of power metal bands I listen to on like one hand, and the only one that's I can actually think about at the moment is Seven Spires. Yeah, it's an unusual kind of thing for me to listen to, but what really drew me in is the completely amazing vocals of, is there a photo here? Adrienne Cowan, there she is there. Look her up on YouTube, look up Seven Spires. She's got amazing clean vocals, but then also kicks into sort of not quite super low death metal, it's more like black metal vocals when she gets down there. Alternates between the two. There's more of that style on there than on this one. This is the second album. This is a far more polished album. The songs are more structured, better thought out, I think. Just more refined because it's, you know, a band that's getting better. It's operatic at times. There's a bit of keys and symphonic metal going on. Definitely worth getting both, I think. The first one, Solveig, is kind of more a bunch of songs, whereas this follow-up one, Emerald Seas, is more of an album. I reckon that's a good way of putting it. This one has, though, still my favourite track, The Paradox. Check out the video for that. That one's got the most death metal vocals from Adrienne, and that track has... It almost has a good parallel to some Dimmu Borgir, sort of mid-era type material. Yeah, I really dig the band. I really dig Adrienne's style of vocals, and yeah, as I said, different for me, but maybe it's something that you'll like as well. So 7 Spires, good stuff. This one's one of those recommended to me years ago, and I just never got around to it. This is Reptilian, the 2016 album, and their only album I think so far. God, it's written in such dark font. Perennial Void Traverse. Like I said, it's their only album that I'm aware of. I think they did a split as well. This is awesome, real organic sounding, sort of, I want to say it's technical death metal, but don't go back to thinking Necrophagous like I mentioned before. It's not. It's more doomy, it's more organic sounding. The way when I was listening to it, the bands I was thinking of were Obliteration was definitely the first band I thought of. The drums in this, just so good. The drummer is one of those guys that he doesn't abuse the double kick. He doesn't blast insanely. He's all about the fills. It's just lots of drum fills. I'm not sure of the technical terms, but he loosens the hi-hat and does all that kind of more traditional non-metal band drumming. Most death metal bands just lock the hi-hat and just tap tap tap, but he lets it loose. He reminds me a bit of like the Faceless Burial drummer. That guy's nuts live. This Reptilian, awesome, really awesome. Like I said, very organic sounding. I'm not sure why there's only the one album from 2016. I don't know if they're still around. Maybe they're one of those bands that I don't know, takes. Oh, I can't be bothered getting that out. One of those bands that takes their time. Very hard to show you what this looks like. It's just so dark that it's yeah, it's like a moon and whatever there. But yeah, really good. If you like Obliteration, who else was I thinking this sounded like? Excarnation. That was the other band. Obliteration and Excarnation. Lots of shuns. Yeah, I reckon that's the sound you're getting here from Reptilian. Top stuff. Really good. Check it out. Oh, speaking of Obliteration, filling in some gaps. I never had the debut. Yeah, again, Obliteration. Hey, it sounds like Reptilian. No, I'm not going to be that lazy. They're Norwegian death metal. What I need to get is the one after this with the crazy cover. I can't remember the name of that one. But I've got the two that follow that. Their last album made my album of the year list in 2018, I think it was, even though I got it in 2019. The sound that these guys do, it's got a bit of sort of Darkthrone, Cromlech. It's got I'm not really sure. They really came up with this sound that I think other bands started to go with Obliteration. It gets kind of early sort of Hellhammer. It is very Norwegian sounding, that's for sure. On Peaceville, Perpetual Decay is the name of this one, and yeah, sort of got the lyrics in there, written sort of scratchy photo collage. You're not a death metal band unless you got photo collage, and they do. Really good. The band, I don't want to say they don't progress, but they give you what you want each time. They set a template with this album, and they just sort of tweak that with every other album. You're not going to see the back there, it's bloody brown on black, but whatever. Debut album of Norwegian classic death metal on Darkthrone's Tyrant Syndicate Productions, and I even mentioned Darkthrone. I think there is some kind of relationship there. I think Fenriz did have some involvement in this debut, and I think that might even help explain some of the sound, which everybody knows the stuff that he likes. He likes stuff that has real drums, stuff that arcs back to the 80s. I think Obliteration gets you there, so debut from them, Perpetual Decay, very good. Alright, the next one we're going to check out is Burgerhole with a massive terrestrial strike. What a great name. I love that cover. Just the asteroid is completely pummeling the planet. Earth is gone. It's gone. You get hit by that, planet splits in half. This is Norwegian black metal of the sort of, the early Darkthrone. It's a bit of a cop-out saying that, but man, Urgahar's been around long enough. They're on No Colours records. I can't pretend to say that they don't sound like Panzerfaust, because that's exactly what they sound like. Yeah, again, has that some of the early Hellhammer sound, but mainly it's Norwegian black metal that has a lot of Darkthrone in it. Really good. Classic sort of early black metal layout there. What year is this? I should have noted that, but it's not like 93 or anything like that. It's more like 2000. Recorded in 98, so maybe came out in 99. Yep. It does what it says on the tin. It's Norwegian black metal. Really enjoyable. It's one of those ones that I think this is the Urgahal album I'll have and enjoy. I don't think I need to go and get all their discography. I think it all is represented here. I think they've got quite a few albums too, but I'm content to have this one. Gives me what I need from Norwegian black metal that's not from the main bands. And yeah, it is, as the third track says here, Supreme Evil. Definitely a pretty evil sounding album. So there you go, Urgahar with Massive Terrestrial Strike. This was a good find. I got this one locally for a good price. Sadistic Intent, Resurrection, their EP from 93, 94. US death metal, but it's a real mix of sounds, this one. I know that this particular EP, it goes for like 25 minutes, so it's, you know, if you were Rain and Blood, you'd call it an album, but anyway. This came out on Gothic Records. It's you know, no barcode. It's one of the early ones. So US band, I think they're from Florida, but they don't sound like a Floridian death metal band to my ears. There's doomy, real thick doomy moments to it, but there's also a lot of, I mean, I could hear a lot of necroticism style in this. I could hear, there's one track, what was it? I think it was Condemned in Misery. They just had like, well, riffs straight off this guy. Total Dismember riffs in that. It's yeah, it's got a lot of order of chaos. I think I'm sort of getting the point across. Really, really good, really talented death metal. I haven't heard anything past this EP. They're one of those bands that did a bunch of EPs. I think they still technically exist. Some people call this an album because of, you know, it's a fairly extended length, but if you call this an album, then it's their only one, because everything else is much shorter, like 3-track EPs. Totally stoked to get this. It's pretty hard to find, particularly this first edition from Gothic Records. And see what was in the booklet. I don't think there was a great deal. And oh yeah, there we go. So this has got obviously there was an address there at some point that's been stickered over with Dark Realm Records. Not sure what the story is there, but there you go. Pretty cool. Pretty evil, pretty satanic sounding stuff. I think that photo kind of gives it away a bit. Yeah, it's really good. If for some reason that, you know, you've had your fill of 90s death metal and missed Sadistic Intent, at least the Resurrection EP, definitely check it out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, and I was, yeah, stoked to get this. Alright, we've got 2 more. These are both on Voidhanger Records. Man, they put out some great stuff. The new one from Cosmic Putrefaction. This one is called The Horizons Toward Which Splendor Withers. This is a one-man death metal band. He did an album last year. I can't remember the name of it. It's got Chasm in the title. That was a good album. This is a great album. He's gone for that Time Ghoul sound, definitely that thick Time Ghoul sound. Cathealist, bands like that, it's real thick, real, not filthy but gloomy. It's got that astral, spacey sound going on. Man, it's really good. It chops and changes, all kinds of different like time signatures and stuff. He just changes it up all the way through. Way more refined than the previous album. Like I said, the first album was good. I was excited when that came out. I enjoy it, but I love this one. This is going on the album of the year list for sure. Cosmic Putrefaction, Horizons Toward Which Splendor Withers. There's an LP as well. Went the CD on this one. LP was going to cost an absolute buttload to get into the country, and yeah, I've got nothing against CDs, as you can see. So definitely recommend that you check this one out if you like bands like Cathedralist, and definitely the archetypical band of Time Ghoul. If you like Blood Incantation, I think that's one that's going to help explain Cosmic Putrefaction as well. Really good stuff. Awesome. And the last one we're going to check out, definitely one of the more weird ones, and remind myself how to say this. This is Ezoctrillium, an A5 digibook here. This is the album is called Eternity of Sheog. Now I don't know what's going on with that, but anyway, how good's that cover art? That is awesome stuff. I love these A5 digibooks. I've got about 7 or 8 of them from different bands. There's the band logo. So what do they sound like? They sound crazy, that's for sure. It might just be a he, because there's just one photo there. It has a lot going on, and I was listening to it and I thought, what could this possibly remind me of? It reminds me of a black metal version of Australia's Knee of Libiscarus. That's what I thought of when I heard this. It's got violins, it goes into keyboards. The overall feeling from the album is sort of morose and sad. It's really quite technical. It's really quite atmospheric. I'd kind of say there's a bit of Opeth in there, but I also want to retract that statement, because this is way more interesting than Opeth. It's really deeply rooted in black metal, whereas bands like Opeth aren't. But it's just really interesting. It's got a real avant-garde sound to it. I think it's one that you kind of just need to give this a listen. He's done a few albums. This is the only one I've got. I want to go back and check the previous one at least. The presentation's just amazing. I love this artwork. I've already said that, but man. And it sounds like an Eye Voidhanger band, you know? They have a flavour. Just like Dark Descent have a flavour, so does that label. Yeah, I definitely recommend Ezoctrillium, so ESOCTRILIHUM, Eternity of Sheog. Check it out. Not sure where he's from, actually. I imagine somewhere in Europe, probably Germany, something like that. Might have some more in the booklet. There you go, some lyrics, which is cool. And doesn't say where he's from, but does tell you the instruments, which I think would help as well. Guitar, bass, drum, synth, violin, piano, the cantel, and throat. So there you go. That is Ezoctrillium, Eternity in Sheog, and highly recommended and pretty strange. So there you go. That's the update for my CDs and a couple of LPs. I presume there'll probably be more later on. I plan on going record shopping in this week, because I have the week off, because hey, it's my birthday week. Hooray for me. And I kind of hope to go music shopping midweek, so maybe I'll get a video out of that one as well. Until then, thanks for watching. See you next time.